honestly, this conversation makes me feel a little bit better.
Okay.
Because
well, I'm glad you feel better. I feel more confused than ever.
everyone, and welcome to Life with a Cheri on Top. I am your host, Cheri Hagan, and today I am joined once again.
Guess who?
By my husband, Kevin. Hey, handsome.
What's up, beautiful?
How are you?
Good.
Good. So today, he just asked me, and I was like, I'm not going to tell you. He was like, can't I even have 10 seconds? And I said, no, you can't.
See what I get here.
So today I want to talk about our views on God. And there's a reason. Oh, he's shaking his head. There's a reason I want to talk about it. So I'm going to give everybody a brief background on how I grew up. And then you give them a brief background on how you grew up, because it's completely different. So I grew up without any sort of organized religion. I know my grandmother, my father's mother, the only grandmother that I knew, insisted I be baptized, and my mother was completely against it and wouldn't do it. And so my grandmother sent the minister over to the house to talk some sense into my mother. And my mother finally relented and got me baptized as Presbyterian. But she really didn't want to. She used to tell me when I grew up, she would say organized religion was the root of all evil. And so that is how I grew up. And I remember asking, no, I don't remember asking. I remember the story of my parents telling me that I asked, like, where does God live? And the answer was, well, God lives everywhere. And I said, well, does he live in this house? And they said, yes, of course. And, does he live on J Street? And, yes, of course. And then, and then it just came down to, I said, well, does he live in the garage? And they said, yes, he even lives in the garage. So being the precocious little brat that I was in nursery school, I apparently had gone to school and divided the class up into those who believed me and those who didn't. And those who did believe me went to my house with me after school so they could meet God who lived in my garage, because that's what I took from that story. Which again, I don't remember, but I just think that's hilarious. And you grew up polar opposite.
Oh, yeah. I mean, total Irish Catholic family, right? I went to Catholic school from second grade through eighth grade. I was an altar boy from probably second grade. I don't think I was an altar boy in second grade, but maybe fourth, fifth, and every day. Altar boy, we go to church before school, and, twice on Sunday I altered. So yeah, it was, surrounded by it, yes.
Yeah, and I did not. So when I got married, previous to Kevin, I was married to a Catholic, and it was important to him that I become Catholic and that we raise our children Catholic. And I was all for it because I didn't have that growing up, right? So that was the plan, but we had gotten married and divorced in 3.5 years. So that actually didn't happen then. But the reason I became Catholic was because I felt so guilty that I had promised to the Monsignor that married us that I would become Catholic.
So you had that Catholic guilt built in you right away.
See? I was like, I fit right in. I must be Catholic because I have the guilt already.
Yeah.
So later on, I became Catholic, even though he and I were divorced, which is interesting. So that's how that kind of happened. But still, I still have a really difficult time with faith.
Okay.
And not in, like, I do believe that there is a God. I listen to these stories in Catholic Church and I go, really? Abraham was 90 when he had a baby? Like, I don't know. There's just, and his wife was 80 or 85 or whatever it was, you know? It's like, I don't know. Like, I know that stories get passed down from generation to generation, but how are they?
It's not passed down. It's in the Bible.
Okay. But,
So,
but
I mean,
it's in the Bible because
somebody wrote it.
somebody wrote it. Right. And how did they write it? From the stories they were told.
Right, but it's not like it's churning generations and it went from he was 60 to all of a sudden he's 100. You know, I mean, it's not like people were building on that story.
Right.
But I you know, listen, we'd not really studied the Bible. We read the Bible in some classes, and certainly all during church and stuff. I've, you know, listened to that multiple times, and it's what you can take out of it. I think it's not, you know, I was wishing you didn't say this category, or this was going to be about your God and religion and stuff. Because
sorry.
It's just such a different, everybody's got such a different feeling on it.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, the bottom line is, you know, what part of what you believe and what you, personally for me, religion's more not what I believe is what's going to happen in the end, but what you're doing on a day-to-day basis, and how,
I love that.
you know, what do you do every day that does something that's supports mankind, or what your belief is. And that's your vision of it. Everybody's got a different vision. Even the people, like the guys that I grew up with in school, they all have different visions of what that meant and, you know, what it is to them. So, you know, and you didn't really talk about it back there in the Catholic school, you know, that's what you do. This is what happens. This is the only way it goes. And then you start to learn more as you grow up. But it's just I look at it as, you know, what are you doing day to day that makes things correct and, you know, makes you just at the end of the day.
And I love that. And actually, you just made me feel better. We've never, ever, ever talked about it.
No, it's not. I mean, we have a little, but not to the depth like that.
Yeah. But you made me feel better because I always feel like you are Mr. Catholic. You know, you did Catholic school.
But I was so fed up with it.
No, I know. I know. Listen, I get it.
Don't take that the wrong way, everybody. But
yeah, no. I mean, listen, and I am certainly not here to say that Catholic is the way to be. That is not the point of this at all. Because in my opinion, as long as you're happy, good for you. I don't care what you believe in. As long as it doesn't hurt anybody else, you do you. Right? That's totally how I feel. But I feel like I'm always a bad Catholic because I'm in my head, I'm like, I don't know. To me, it's like I haven't been fed these stories since I was little. Mm-hmm. And so when I
like the way you say fed.
Well, but it's true.
Fed these, well, you haven't heard them.
I haven't heard the stories since I was little. So
I've been fed this bullshit from the day I was born.
That's not what I said. It's just harder for me to believe because I didn't grow up with it, I think. Right?
No, not necessarily. I mean, you could have grown up with it and still found it hard to believe.
Maybe.
And, you know, there are some things that are, you know, again, that's what faith is, right? It's what you're looking for is what do you, you know, what do you take out of it? What do you believe on that? Or is it just the moral of the story that they're telling? You know?
Okay.
There's that part of it you can take out of it too.
So, okay, literally, this is starting to make me feel a little better. So even though I don't necessarily believe every story that's in the Bible, as long as I try to guide my life as being a good person and helping those around me, then I'm doing okay.
Don't ask me. I'm not. Who am I to ask?
Well, but that's kind of what you said. That's how you're living.
That's my vision.
Right.
That's my head.
Okay, but you're Mr. Catholic to me.
No, but I'm not. I'm not. I mean, listen. And this isn't a good Catholic saying. I feel like I've been in church so much when I was a kid and stuff that I don't need to do it anymore.
Oh, right.
And that's not a proper statement,
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
good Catholic goes to church every Sunday and tithes 10% of your income to the church and all that fun stuff.
That's where I start having huge problems with any church. But yeah, that's not just the Catholic religion.
No, that's
yeah. Listen, I'm all for supporting your church, but you don't need to take. Isn't it 20% now? Whatever it is.
Try not to even.
Yeah.
Listen.
We're not doing it. Is my point. I mean, we support our church, but not to that extent.
We do.
Yeah. All right. So I'm not a horrible person for having doubts as long as I live my life.
If that's the way you feel.
Okay.
If that's what makes you say, yeah, that, again, there's so many avenues. If that's what makes you feel right and comfortable and in your beliefs, and yeah, then that's the right road. But
okay,
again, don't take that because I say it. Take it because you mean it. Take it because you want that to be the case.
Right.
Take it because that's what you believe. That's the thing. It's your belief. It's your commitment that gets you there.
Yeah. So this all came up, by the way, because my goddaughters, who are twins, they're coming up on their confirmation. And so one of them asked me to be their sponsor. And of course I said yes. And then we had to become formal parishioners of our local church because we were going somewhere else and not even very often.
To the wrong one.
Yeah. We were going to a different one. Well, one that you had brought your family up in.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then we had been going there prior to moving.
Right.
Where our current house is. So we still just went there, but we are now outside of that parish. So I had to rejoin a new church.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had to do that. And then I fully expected what I referred to as the Catholic shakedown with, well, sure, we'll sign this piece of paper saying you'll be a sponsor, but you need to donate $1,000 or something. But they didn't. In fairness, they did not. So I was happy to see that. Mm-hmm. And anyway, that's how this all came up. And that's why I wanted to talk about it, because I think everybody has a different avenue of faith.
That's why most people don't have conversations about it. It's like politics, right? Everybody's got their own view.
Yeah.
Everybody's got their own view of how they feel about God and what they believe or don't believe, and how they show that. There's thousands of different ways, and everyone's good as long as it's good with you.
Right.
And that's what I think, my opinion. But
no, I like it.
Who am I?
No, I like it because that makes me feel better. Because sometimes I sit in service at church and I go, really? But maybe I just don't have to believe every single story.
Word by word. I mean, the moral of that story was he had to sacrifice his son.
Right. Understood.
That's the
moral of the story.
And that's, I mean, if you believe that he had, he could do that in the faith of God and give, that's, didn't matter what age he was.
Okay.
Or what they say, what
but
age
to me
he was.
It does.
I know. It's not 115.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm
People lived longer back then.
Well, but I'm, yeah. Not. I am a science girl, I'm a show me kind of a person. Show me and I'll believe it.
Wow.
So for me to have any kind of faith is difficult in the first place.
That's going to be a problem.
And I'm not saying I don't have faith. I'm just saying I don't believe everything that I'm told in church.
Right.
So honestly, this conversation makes me feel a little bit better.
Okay.
'Cause-
I'm glad you feel better. I feel more confused than ever.
Yeah. I guess the other thing is, because Catholics believe in heaven and hell.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't it the Jewish faith that believes in purgatory?
Well, Catholics do as well.
Oh, they do?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Because I was like, I must be Jewish because I totally believe in purgatory. But maybe not, because I didn't know that was a Catholic thing too.
I think it is. I mean, I've always understood that to be if you have to pay penance.
Yeah.
That's kind of where you go.
All right. So see, listen, I know very little about it, and I just know what I know, and I will be totally honest and tell you I have never read the Bible in my entire life. Never. I have it. I have one. I just
different versions of it too, so that's even
right
more confusing.
Yeah. And that's the other thing.
Don't go there.
I know, but I have to. Why are they changing the words? Like,
oh yeah,
I'm so used to saying one thing and then they changed it, instead of, and also with you, they changed it to,
right.
And with your spirit. And I go, what? Why are we saying that? Like, I don't, why the change?
I don't know.
I don't understand it.
No clue.
All right. Well, that's a whole other tangent, but yeah, it's interesting to me because I didn't grow up with religion. And my mother, who used to say religion was the root of all evil, is now a Bible thumper. Right. And well, she is.
I know, but that's just hilarious.
It is hilarious. Like, she's done this whole 180, and all she can talk about is the Bible and God, and good for her. Nothing wrong with it.
As they get closer to...
Yeah, as they get closer to meeting God.
Yes.
Yeah, they're like, oh, shit.
I better figure this out.
Yeah. And then I have my dad, who's one of the smartest people I've ever met in my life. Mm-hmm. He's just wicked smart. Mm-hmm. And he and I have had the discussion, because he said he's read the Bible a couple of times front to back. Mm-hmm. And, he's like, it's an interesting read. I'm like, oh, all right. Thanks for the insight.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting read. That's funny.
Yeah. Well, Dad's got a very dry sense of humor.
Yes, he does.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't know if this has helped or hurt anybody.
If we lost any listeners?
Yeah. I certainly hope not.
No, didn't mean to offend anybody.
No, I'm not trying to offend anybody.
Shooting the stuff here.
Yeah. Wow. Do you think I offended anybody? Because this...
Sure. I mean, any religion, any politic conversation offends somebody.
Well,
so no offense
that wasn't my intent. Because like I said earlier, I don't care what you believe in, as long as it makes you happy.
Right.
So, yeah, I'm not saying you have to be like me. In fact, please don't be like me, because I don't know what the hell's going on, clearly.
We don't need any more of her in this world.
Yeah. No, listen, I believe in, I think every birth is a miracle. Mm.
Yeah.
I think, there's a lot of miracles going on every day that people don't see. And It's not that I don't, how do I put this? It's not that I don't believe. I have a hard time believing everything I'm told.
You're listening to the details, and you can't.
I'm listening to the details.
You can't sort the details out because you weren't there, and that's the person you are.
Yeah,
you have to see it or be there.
Right.
So
now, if I had written the Bible,
step back.
Whole other story.
You can read it and then rewrite it. You'll be fine.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Well, hey, thanks for listening, everybody. I sure as hell did not mean to offend anybody. So if I did, I am truly very sorry, and I will just say that now. I just wanted to have the discussion because it's in the forefront of my mind.
Yeah, we were thinking about it with all the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, with all the stuff going on with the girls. So thanks for listening. If you want to comment on this or any other show, you can do so.
No, you don't want comments on this one. You want to comment? I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding. Trying to lighten the mood.
This or any other show. You can comment on the website, which is lifewithasherryontop.com. Or you can email me at lifewithasherryontop@gmail.com. And again, Cheri is spelled Cheri. Thanks everybody for listening. We'll talk again
See you
soon.
soon.
Bye.